Welcome back to the Bahamas and the PokerStars Championship main event final table. 5 players remain competing for the trophy and the first prize of nearly $500,000. It's James Hartigan alongside Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my baby. Zuh.
It's a play already underway as we kick off level 28. Blinds now 40,000, 80,000 with a 10,000 ante.
Yeah.
Action on Christian Harder, the chip leader. He's got an 80 big blind stack. He's on the button with Queen 8.
Raised to 175.
Raising to 175k. In the small blind is Alexei Opelikin, the Russian player, who has around 65 big blinds.
Big jump in blinds we just saw, by the way. Two folks had over 100 bigs, now they've got 75.
Cliff Josephy, who is the table low man with 16 bigs, also folds. So raise and take it for Christian Harder, boosting his chip lead at this 5-handed final table. Christian with 6.5 million. Michael Gentili just over 6 million. 5.3 million for Alexei Opelikin. 2 million for Michael Vella, and Cliff Josephy brings up the rear with 1.3 million. This is hand 16 of the final table. Action will be on Michael Vella, the former WPT champ with a great hat.
I do like the hat, it works for him. Not everyone can pull off a fedora. I think he's doing all right.
Christian Harder made the final table of the Bahamas main event back in 2008. Finished 7th that year.
190.
He's gone at least 2 better than that this year, and is certainly the favourite to win with that chip lead and his experience and his resume of results. So he's made it 190,000 with ace-9. Michael Gentili has 8-7 off in the big.
If you guys look very carefully, you can see Daniel Negreanu at the final table, the high roller, right in the green shirt there in the background on the left. Right in the center of the screen now, next to the Homer Simpson pants. Back to the action here at this table, however. Hello.
Trip 9s for Christian Harder. Gentili has not really connected with this board, and a C-bet will probably end this. 160k into 470k, sure enough. So we've lost 1 player so far. During the first level, we saw Rasmus Gleisel eliminated by Christian Harder, and Rasmus is on the rail with Matt Broughton.
So I'm here with our 6th place finisher, Rasmus Gleisel. $103,780. Congratulations and bad luck in the same sentence.
Thank you so much.
Admit it, when you got the first hand pocket 9s and flop trips, you thought, I'm going to win the whole thing.
Well, he doesn't fold a lot.
True.
So I would hope he call. I probably check any turn. He bets, I shove. But no.
You can see it. You can see the path right to lifting the trophy.
I almost checked, but I think that would be a huge mistake, so yeah.
And this, of course, is the first stop on, you've only just recently decided you're going to tour the world playing live events.
That came out kind of wrong.
Okay.
Online, I recently decided to go live, and I hope I can tour the events.
I see.
Yeah, I hope I can travel for a year and do all the events. But...
Well, you've set the bar pretty high for your first start.
Oh yeah, now it will be easier, also with a bigger role.
So the pressure's off.
Yes, kind of.
So can we expect to see you come play with us again in Panama, maybe?
I think so, I think so.
And is this whole ploy just an excuse to get out of Norway as much as possible?
Not at all.
So what is the plan from here out?
Go back to normal life, probably upgrading my car, and
Nice.
Putting some plans for the next Panama, I guess, yeah.
Anything in mind car-wise? Anything you want to share with us?
Oh, it's electric. It's the i3, new BMW i3.
Oh, really?
Got upgraded.
I don't really
now.
know cars, but I'm sure it's really lovely inside.
Me neither.
Now, also, I wanted to ask, we've caught you a couple of times on camera kissing your lovely girlfriend, Anna.
Oh, right.
And I was just wondering, like, is there any chance I could get a little bit of that action?
Oh, sure, I was waiting for it. Oh, jeez. I didn't know you guys.
Back to Joe and James.
Lucky.
That went down really well with the Russian audience.
Russians kiss, you're just not allowed to enjoy it.
So this is hand 17 of the final table. Michael Gentili raised small to big, got a call from Michael Vella. Gentili continued flop for 160k. And now Vella has improved from ace high to a pair of 8s. Gentili still with bottom pair.
It's funny, Rasmus said he was going to upgrade his car. I was afraid he was going to say he was going to upgrade his girlfriend.
It's 250.
So Gentili slows down on the turn, checks the action to Vella, who bets $250,000.
Gentili folds.
Michael Vella now playing a 30 big blind stack. Cliff Josephy is edging into the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Which coincidentally is the password for today's PokerStars TV free roll. And there are only 5,000 seats left. 25,000 players have already registered. Trying to get a slice of the $2,000 prize pool and claim the bounties on J. Hartigan, Joe Stapleton, and Waster. So grab your seat quickly. The game will start in an hour's time. That's 3:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Central European Time. So this is another blind on blind situation. Michael Vella in the small. And he's got pocket queens. A reminder that blinds are 40-80. And he decides to trap by limping. Christian Harder in the big blind also has a pocket pair. He's got threes. Checks his option. So unraised, blind on blind, domination situation, and queen still way ahead. Michael Vella is roughly 4-1 favourite pre-flop. Now he is a 9-1 favourite. That's 100k. Gets a call from Christian Harder. And look at this. Vella improves to top set on the turn. Christian Harder now drawing dead. Vella quickly bets 200k. And Christian Harder folds. Well, let's welcome to the booth the man who's made me very jealous by getting to kiss Rasmus. Matt Broughton.
That guy has got a tongue like an electric eel and he likes the taste of a man's tonsils.
Sorry.
Whew, still feeling a bit giddy.
Yeah. I'll try.
Our only exit so far today. Rasmus Gleisel out in 6th place. 5 players remaining from the 738 who started.
Hello everybody, welcome to the final table.
And the situation right now is that Christian Harder has been dominating from the off, and Cliff Josephy has slipped down to 15 big blinds. He folds. Sick brag, Michael Vella. He had queens. It's ace queen the hand for Gentili. He is raised from the cutoff. Christian Harder has king 10 of spades in the small blind.
That'll look pretty tempting. 5-handed. It's a juicy one.
Quickly handle a question on Twitter from Dimitar. Remember, the hashtag is PokerStarsTV. Says, guys, what are your usernames on Stars so I know who to look out for on the tables for those bounties? I am J. Hartigan. Joe plays as Joe Stapleton.
Stupid name.
And Matt Broughton plays as Waster.
Much better.
So J. Hartigan, Joe Stapleton, Waster. Those are the 3 players with $100 bounties on their heads in the PokerStars TV free roll, which now has 26,000 players. So 3-bet from Christian Harder. He has re-raised to 550k. And Gentili with ace-queen and the advantage of position will probably call and see a flop here. The 2 biggest stacks at the table. Not sure they'll want to get engaged in some crazy pre-flop leveling war.
No, agreed. Unlikely to go 4-bet crazy. Lovely hand to see a flop with. If either of these players hits, means the other ones will too, I guess.
Well, Gentili outflopped by Harder. Christian with top pair.
The free roll passwords have just been like a top 10, like the greatest hits of the broadcast.
Interesting. Continuation bet, the 425,000. Relatively small. 1/3 of the pot.
Yeah, I was going to say, it could be one of those lovely situations where your opponent thinks it's just a standard continuation, but Christian Harder has hit better.
More gently calls with ace high. Ace of diamonds on the turn. Guess Michael still has 2 live cards. Could improve with an ace or a queen on the river, assuming we get to the river. So Christian Harder took the betting lead pre-flop with a 3-bet. Continued flop, does not barrel turn.
Yeah, double flushing board, I guess. Slow it down. If the board completes on the river, you've got a smaller pot to try and play with.
Meanwhile, ace is full. Gives you credit, Matt, for your Blackadder Lord Flashheart reference. Love and miss Rick Mail. Was Rick one of those we lost during 2016?
No, he was a few years ago, I think now. Sadly, at least a good couple of years, if not 3.
So check on the turn. Board pairs on the river. Think Christian goes for value here? No, he checks. Check to showdown. Well, it's not an insignificant pot, 2 million. And that will see Christian Harder move back to the 7.5 million mark. 7.6 million if you want to be precise.
I would rather be.
95 big blinds.
Yeah, interesting there, but I guess the ball's dangerous enough, and somebody comes back over the top of you, you'd hate it, wouldn't you?
Well, we caught up with Christian in the break and asked him how he felt the first level went.
Yeah, it was a good start. I won 10s versus ace king, which, it's always nice to eliminate someone and win a decent-sized pot. Besides that, I've lost a few small pots, so I haven't made that many chips, but overall I made a little bit, and there's 5 left, so it was a good first level. I would say Cliff and Michael Gentili. Mike has a lot of chips, and he's a good player, and obviously Cliff is a great player with a ton of experience. He's short, but won double, and he's really dangerous. Not quite. I mean, I knew I was going to play fairly aggressive, but nothing crazy, and probably I'm going as planned, probably, is how I want, how many percentage of hands I want to play or whatever, but it just depends. I mean, sometimes you get good cards, sometimes you get bad cards. You can't force it. It'd be awesome just to win a major title. I've never won one, win the first championship event in PokerStars, so hope I can take it down.
Christian Harder currently in control of this 5-handed final table. Very quickly, Kevin asks, how do I find the free roll on Stars? I can't see it anywhere. You can search free rolls, but also you can search PokerStars Space TV. And I think I'm right in saying, Matt, you've got to make sure filters are switched off.
Yeah, in fact, and even easier is just TV. If you just search for TV, it comes up, so you don't even have to put that much in.
Great.
And yes, absolutely make sure all of your filters are off, otherwise funky things happen.
And be quick, Kevin, because I think we're up to 27,000 players now, only 3,000 seats left. Oh, this is a potential confrontation. Michael Vella opening with Queen 10. Ace Jack suited for Alexei Opolikhin in the small blind. And he elects to re-raise. 3-bet to 410,000.
It feels like Alexei has been more aggressive, considering it feels like we spent a lot of time watching him tank fold in a way that made you think he was folding some big hands yesterday, making some big ICM decisions. Now it seems like he's happier to put the foot down somewhat. Bit of dramatics. Don't think there's any chance he's going to call this.
Vella folds. Opolikhin chips up to 5.4 million. We should point out, by the way, that Opolikhin has now moved into 2nd position on the leaderboard. Gentili, after that big hand against Christian Harder, dropped down into 3rd. Meanwhile, Cliff Joseph, he drops down to 13 big blinds.
Yeah, I was just looking at, considering we've only got 5 players, it's a real range, isn't it? We've got 95 big blinds, 68, 55, 31, 13, all the different painful stages other than being at the top. Awkward.
Scuff, who has appeared on our podcast as a superfan in the past, says, could you remind us of the card hunt card, please? Absolutely. A reminder that you do need to complete today's challenge. And you also need to win a hand with a specific card. That card being the Queen of Clubs. So remember, whilst completing today's card hunt puzzle window, win a hand with the Queen of Clubs, and that makes you eligible to enter the contest. Hand 21 is underway. Ace-10 of diamonds for Opolikhin. He raises the button. King-Queen suited for Michael Gentili in the big blind. As we welcome our first guest commentator of the day to the booth from Team Pro Online. Kevin Martin's with us on PokerStars TV.
Hello, gentlemen. Good to see you guys again. How are you?
All right, I remember you. I remember you from the TV when that other chap beat you. Unbelievable. So rude of him.
Yes, when I got second place. Feels bad, man.
Well, we have a situation where it's top pair versus second pair. Action goes check, check.
Bit cagey.
9 on the turn. Oh, bad news for Daniel Negreanu fans. He's just tweeted that he's out in 5th in the 25k event. A reminder that if you want to follow the high roller, PokerStars blog team are providing live updates at PokerStarsblog.com. But Daniel, sadly, will not be winning that trophy here in the Bahamas. Out in 5th.
So a bit of an easier task for you this time, Kevin. The last time you were with us, we had no idea what they had now. Now we can be genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
Genii.
Cards up coverage. I mean, there's something to... Cards down and both cards up coverage have their pros and cons, but at the end of the day, if you're looking for entertainment, cards up, playing for a lot of money here at the final table, it's tough to beat this right here.
For sure. Down to the last 5 out of a field of over 700, you know that this is going to be a treat.
So delayed c-bet of 200,000, called by Gentili.
So the question is Ace-10 here going to get some extra money on the river?
Well, I kind of feel as he didn't c-bet flop, he kind of has to bet river, or surely he's missing value.
Oh, he's betting for sure. The question is the king going to pay him off or not? Has to bet here, right?
Soren, I will address your question at the end of this hand.
Now we have the other side of the problem of being cards down and cards up, is that you lose track of how many showdowns they've actually got to. So if we can say, well, actually Lexi's been pretty solid and playing still pretty premium hands, of course, the opponents don't know that, and we kind of have to try and think how aggressive has he been, and no one's known with what. Because my brain wants to say, well, when, you know, in a situation like this, when Lexi ever bets out, you think, well, I'm going to have something really strong here. King, Queen, still going to be good a lot of the time. I can't see Michael not calling whatever he puts out here. Why is he taking this long, Kevin?
He must be thinking of a bet size, right?
I hope so.
There we go. So there's 870,000 in the middle. 430,000, roughly half pot from Apalikan. And now we switch things around and look at the hand from Michael Gentili's perspective. A lot of opponents will check back an ace on the flop for deception, but Apalikan is kind of a tricky customer.
He's kind of that hand that is really good to call here. King, Queen, after it goes check, check on flop. It feels like one of those hands he just has to pay off 2 streets.
And that will be frustrating because we just saw him lose a pretty big pot to Christian Harder. He loses this one as well and pays off this bet on the river. He'll drop below the 50 big blind mark. Remember, Michael came into this final table as the chip leader. He has called.
Yeah.
It's the bad news.
Which is, he loses the pot, but I think that the check call is a perfectly fine thing to do with King, Queen. We don't want to be results oriented.
So Apalikan chips up to 80 bigs. Christian Harder still leads with a 95 big blind stack.
So Michael came in as the chip leader, correct?
Michael came in as the chip leader. Christian Harder is now in control. Michael's dropped down to 45 bigs. Details are on screen right now, by the way, about the next live event on the PokerStars schedule. The PokerStars Festival London at the Hippodrome runs the 22nd to the 29th of January. And we were talking yesterday, Matt, about the fun stuff planned, like the party at Lola's.
Yeah.
And one of the side events may attract Mr. Broughton if he's free for a couple of days.
Yeah, the old deep stack, 275 quid. Might have a little tickle of that if I can get down there.
I said I'd answer Soren's question on Twitter. Reminder, the hashtag is PokerStarsTV. You're going to ask Kevin Martin a question, for example. Soren says, what happened with the stream delay? They'll be able to see every hand right away. Soren, nice poetry. We are actually on delay. What you're watching right now actually happened 50 minutes ago. But we're seeing it the same time you're seeing it. So the video, the graphics, all of that's been delayed, but our commentary is live. It's in real time, as you're hearing us speak these words. And that's how we're able to read your tweets. You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Be interesting to get into Michael's head when you go in as the chip leader to a big final table like this, and then it starts to, he kind of feels it slipping away a little bit perhaps.
Yeah.
He still has 44 big blinds, but he is in 3rd place. I wonder if we can get into the mind.
I mean, that's the thing. Cliff came in saying, you know, no expectations on the short stack. I'm meant to go out next. But as you say, it's got to actually be a much harder task when you come in at the top of the pile and find yourself slipping down and just don't panic, don't panic.
Well, look at that. We can see he's lost 2.6 million since the start of the day. Cliff Joseph, he's starting to bleed down, hovering around the 12, 13 big blind mark. Oblique and Christian Harder building their stacks, and Michael Vella's added nearly $1 million to his.
They've all locked up 140,000 US dollars. That's not a bad trip to the Bahamas.
But of
Is
course,
there such a bad thing as bad trip to the Bahamas?
but at this point, you're obviously A, thinking about laddering, B, thinking about that first prize of nearly $500,000, and C, thinking about winning the first ever PokerStars Championship trophy. Everything else just feels like a consolation prize. The last time Michael Vella limped the small, he had queens. This time, not as good a hand, 6-4 of clubs.
Deception, you see. Now nobody knows.
I like it. Harder has the chip lead, he can apply pressure versus these medium stacks.
And the irony is, this is exactly what Vella wanted him to do last time.
Odds were against the right.
Last time, Christian just checked his option. This time, he raises and gets a fold.
9-5 is one of those hands that's so bad you almost have to put in the raise because it just plays so poorly post-flop. You just have to put it into your bluff range.
So we're 30 minutes into level 28 of the main event. And we currently have Elise dealing the feature table. And you might remember we mentioned yesterday there is an article on the PokerStars blog about Elise. Lee H. Jones discovered her hidden talent as a ukulele player.
There's a lovely video of her playing George Harrison's While My Guitar Gently Weeps. One of my favourite songs, beautifully rendered.
She's a sweetheart. I have a little bit of a crush on her.
We all do, don't we?
Yeah.
Those videos available to watch as part of Lee's article on the blog as Cliff Joseph shoves from under the gun. Ace deuce of diamonds.
Make a go for you. Only one hand? No, good to know for next time. Jeez. No kings? Kings no good, you muck 'em? No, this time.
What a year this guy's having, by the way. A decent year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was $3.5 million for his third place finish in the World Series of Poker main event.
Probably call Jack.
Guaranteed a 6-figure score here today.
Jack would be a good call.
He's just running hot in life. That's amazing. It's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, here's a question for you, Kevin. Comes from Rani. Says, any T-Coop plans? What's the tournament you won't miss in any case?
It's going to be my first T-Coop, actually. I missed it last year. And so, yeah, I haven't really looked at the schedule. I have no clues. I'm in the process of moving right now, getting my stream set up at my new house, and so...
Look, no one cares about your real life. Just stream,
Exactly.
all right? You got somewhere to go, don't. Yeah, you got some appointment? No, I'm sorry. That's what you have... That's the deal you've made now. You've dealt with the devil, and now you've got to be streaming 24/7.
I mean, the big streamers just do it 6-7 days a week. I don't know how Jason Somerville does this. He's just a robot, I think. But you kind of have to be there.
So funny, there was a book I read, maybe a decade, maybe more, a Ben Elton book called Blind Faith, and it prophesied this future where everyone is just constantly streaming their lives all the time, and you have to. It was like government sort of dictate was if you didn't stream your life, including sex and work, and everything you did had to be streamed, otherwise you got quite heavily penalised, and it's ridiculous how much of that is kind of coming true.
Very Black Mirror-esque.
Yeah, very much so. Excellent book. Highly recommended. That's book corner. I'll post this.
I think Harder's going to fire out a continuation bet here. Oh, no, he checks back to E7. Thought I was going to go bet, check, shove. Never mind. And now Harder could get in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, having paired his 7 on the turn. Obviously, Cliff's still a big favourite with his pair of 8s. A question to you, Kevin, from Rane on Twitter. Any T-Coop plans? What's the tournament you won't miss in any case?
We've just had a 5-minute conversation.
Oh, I'm
about
sorry.
Yeah.
My Twitter client updates about 5 minutes after
Sorry.
yours.
No real surprise to see Christian Harder getting ready to pay off that bet.
River's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that wraps it up, but makes things look certainly way scarier. If only there were more cards to come, Christian could just keep on betting. Keep on calling. But this one is a lock for Cliff.
Well, does Cliff value? No, he goes for the check, and I actually really like it. In this specific hand, he didn't get value, but I think a lot of time Harder's going to have a lot of bluffs on that river when Cliff checks. So giving the big stack a chance to, you know, push his weight around, I really like him checking that top end of the straight there.
Well, Cliff spent the first 30 minutes of this level in the danger zone. He's now got himself up to a 20 big blind stack. Christian Harder still playing a very healthy, very comfortable, very dominant 90 big blinds.
Cliff's got to be feeling a little bit better. He got that shove through with ace-deuce suited. He picks up a nice big blind defense, so he's hitting at 20 big blinds. And mentally, the difference between 20 big blinds and 13, yeah, he's got to feel like he has a little more breathing room right now.
Ace-6 suited for Alexei Opelikin.
When are you home again? When are you streaming?
Tomorrow.
All right.
I mean, I'm on the plane tomorrow. I'm off to Vancouver, Canada. Jamie and little and his younger brother Matt Staples are going. So the stream house is temporarily taking a pause, but I'm off to Vancouver, Canada. Give me a day or two to set up, and I'm sure I'll be live ASAP. I'm itching. You stay away from the stream for a little while, and you just get that itch that you have to fulfill. So I'm gonna be really excited to be back.
You'll be down to 200 viewers, maybe 20. I mean, you know, they're fickle. They would have wandered off like cats.
There's no loyalty out there on the Twitch streams. No, I have a really cool community. I have some very loyal people that I really appreciate. Huge flop here for the ace-6 of hearts.
Continues, and Michael gently quickly folds, having not connected in any way. And the free roll is full.
That's it.
Half an hour to go until it kicks off.
Oh, I didn't get in.
Full. Easy money. Me, Joan James.
Good luck to all 30,000 participants.
It's ridiculous, really. I still remember when the idea of 30,000 people playing in one online tournament would have like blown your mind, and now we just every single day just manage to fill that up in the free rolls. Like technology, innit?
There's Mike Watson, the reigning Bahamas main event champion. Won the tournament last year. Back when it was the PCA, of course. Now we have the PokerStars Championship. The first trophy of this new global tour will be awarded today to one of these 5 players. Oh, Cliff Josephine.
Right, he's going to make use of those chips. He's been patient. Now he's going to actually put them to task.
Raises to 180,000, just has the big blind to get through. How wide does Michael Vella defend?
That wide.
Almost everything is what he's saying when he defends the Jack-3.
Oh, check dark. Love it. I don't know how many of these we've had when we've been down to the last 5. The main event, how many check in the darks we see.
Continuation bet and a fold. Just before we bid adieu to Kevin Martin, we have a quick Bahamas flashback for you. Earlier on this afternoon, here is the moment that Bryn Kenny busted the 25k high roller in 9th place, adding $90,000 to his vast Bahamas fortunes. 12 cashes here, worth a total of $5.5 million. Wow. Another great result for Bryn at this venue. Kevin Martin, safe travels home.
Will do, my friends. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, good to see you. Do get home safely and have fun when you finally get back on the streams.
We will. I just had such a fun week here at the Bahamas between the poker and the water slides and like hanging out with you guys. It really was an awesome week for me. So I'm a little sad to let it go, but good luck to these final 5. I'll definitely be tuning into the Twitch stream.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
All right, cheers, gentlemen.
Thank you for spending time with us on PokerStars TV. Well, we may have lost a Canadian, but we're going to be gaining another, because very soon we'll be joined in the booth by Daniel Negreanu, who recently also exited the 25k high roller, busting in 5th place for close to $300,000. Daniel's going to be providing some guest analysis of the action in the main event. With his hand 28 of the final table, Gentili's raise called by Christian Harder in the big blind. Jack 5 against 7-6. Check, check.
Oof. Not much to get too excited about for either player. The only real positive right now is that neither of them seem interested in it. Michael was the pre-flop raiser.
No delayed c-bet. Well, Gently pairs his 5 on the river. That gives him showdown value. Christian Harder deciding whether to bluff this. No, he checks. Gently checks behind, and Michael gets some back from Christian. But not a huge pot. Adding 255k to his stack, still below 50 bigs. Christian Harder still hovering around the 90 big blind mark. Well, as promised, let's welcome to PokerStars TV, Daniel Negreanu from Team PokerStars Pro. Daniel, congratulations for your result in the high roller.
Thanks, it was fun. I mean, you know, anytime you're playing in these 25k tournaments with 160 players, you look at the final field and they're all tough cookies. So it was a really good experience. It was fun. I mean, I came in short stacked, so 5th wasn't a terrible finish.
And Daniel, the internet is a weird place because there's just so much horror on social media, but then sometimes your heart is warmed, and I've been very impressed and kind of gladdened by the nice comments that you've received over the course of the last 24 hours from all your fans.
You know, it's definitely been rough. I've had my dog, I don't know if you guys know, Mushu for 17 years, my best friend, call him my son, and, you know, got the horrible news the morning of day 2 of the 25k that he never went to the swimming pool ever. You know, he never went to the water, and he must have just been demented and out of it, and he fell in and died. And it was a shock. It was difficult to play. It's hard to, you know, I wouldn't have played a tournament that day,
sure,
but I was already there, so I kind of just kept to myself and was not myself, just put my earphones in and just, you know, tried to not, well, I mean, it was impossible not to think about it.
Yeah. It's horrible. Really sad to hear that.
It did help me to see that, I mean, a lot of people reached out to me and said, like, this is common. Like, a lot of dogs when they're older, because, like, my fear was, like, thinking about him suffering and how much that, you know, whether he's in pain or did it hurt. And just knowing that, like, a lot of dogs do that. They do weird things when they go to die. They go to, you know, different places they've never been, or they swim out, you know. And so, I don't know. Yeah.
You could torture yourself over it forever, couldn't you? I guess it's...
Like, why would he do that? That's
yeah,
what I'm thinking.
That's very sad.
Yeah.
So obviously play continues at the final table of that high roller, and a reminder that there are live updates on the PokerStars blog. Meanwhile, we are following the action at the final table of the main event. This hand has gone to the turn. Gently against Vela. Gently the pre-flop raiser.
Feeling quite confident we might have a sing-song on our hands. Don't ask me why.
So King 7 offsuit, not exactly a premium hand. I mean, you want to play more hands on the button typically, but that's definitely stretching it.
Yeah, you kind of expect him to be 3-betting pre with a hand like King 7 if he's going to play it rather than just flatting.
Well, I did play with Vela in this event, actually. He's definitely unorthodox. He does things a little bit differently than your traditional young online pro, for example.
Well, the 5 is irrelevant. This is going to be a chop, assuming it goes to showdown. It does. They will split this pot, and Matt Broughton, Daniel Negreanu, you know what they say? Everyone loves a chop pot.
Yeah, not everyone says that, just you guys, actually.
No, Daniel, I think you will find that everybody, literally everybody, loves it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Hey, it's better than losing, right?
True. Good
They had
point.
the whole time with that 7. So Michael Vela has been entertaining us for the last few days, Daniel, with some of his jokes. I say some of his jokes, he's got 3. And we've heard them all at least twice. But he's an entertaining character. Love the way he's turned out for the final table today with the shirt and hat. And of course, looking to add to his list of results, he took down a WPT a few years back.
So he's got one more joke than William Kassouf. 3, right? It's 3-2. It's tied. William's coming up with new material, though. That's what I've heard.
Got a team of writers now.
Yeah. What's Vela's best joke that you heard so far? Because I missed it.
Well, when you say best joke, that implies that there's a good one.
You got to pick from, you know, if there's 3, one is equal. One has to be better than the other 2.
The thing is, if we told you now, I mean, he's due. It's been a good 2 hours since he's told at least one of them. And I just won't want to tread on his toes, because there's just a good chance if you just stick around for at least 10 minutes.
Okay.
He's probably got like a little alarm on his watch, just a little vibration to remind him it's time for a joke.
Only seen one of Obliquen's cards here. We know he's raising small to big with a 7. Cliff Josephy, who we know is a huge fan of William Kassouf's antics.
Yeah, right. So interesting spot for Cliff on the short side with 22 big blinds. Hand like queen 10 suited plays well post flop to see one, but it's also a pretty good hand to move all in with 22 big blinds, because if you get called by ace king, you're 40-some%. A lot of time you'll win the pot without a flop. So a lot of people who don't like post flop play, typically, it's not incorrect to move all in here. It is actually just fine. So is calling. Which one is better? That depends on how good you are post flop. Looks like he's gonna see a flop with it. That's the choice I would take. You know, especially being in position, it's very, very powerful in these situations.
And I guess people have an expectation you're going to defend a bit wider, even though it's kind of 22 big blinds, is it maybe
So
undervalued?
this is a hand where Cliff doesn't even care how it rolls out. He's ready to get it in on this flop, 2 overs and a flush draw, fantastic. We don't know what his opponent, how do you say his name properly? I don't want to screw it up.
Opalikin.
Opalikin, okay. Opalikin, I mean, he's got 1-7, he could have 2 7s, he could have a 9. Whatever Cliff is up against, he's in good shape. And he knows that with 20 big blinds. So the question is, you know, ideally, if I was Cliff, I'd want him to bet here. I'd want the small blind to bet so I can move all in and hopefully win on the flop. And if not, well, just catch what I need.
Continuation bet from Opalikin of 155,000.
So Cliff is quickly grabbing a call. I'd be surprised. I'd be really surprised to see Cliff just call. I'm very, very surprised by this move. I think the better play is raise, frankly, with that many outs potentially. All right, or you can just hit a 10. There's just so many hands that his opponent has, like ace high, that you get like ace jack, ace queen. What's he really gonna call in this 9-6-2 sport? A shove? I don't think so. So you move those hands out, and you know, if you do get called by an overpair, you know, you've got plenty of outs with the flush draw. So I would have liked to seen a raise there from Cliff, but as played, looks like he's in good shape. Unless we're up against 7-8 here. We don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of a half sweat with situation.
Yeah, I didn't want to be the voice of doom, but I must admit that immediately went through my head.
You know, and if I'm Opalikin right now, and I got called on a 9-6 deuce flop, the 10 is a horrible card for me. I'm thinking I'm going to shut this down probably if I don't have anything at all. Doesn't seem like a good card to bluff at. He's checked. Now Cliff's going to bet this for value now. Went from maybe shoving with a draw to betting for value and hoping to get called.
220,000.
Very small bet. You know, when you consider pot size, really laying a good price. And the reason Cliff can do that is because he's not worried about draws, because he's got one.
He's kind of played it like he was super deep stacked. He's just sort of legit played through it.
Stretching that 20 big blind stack, so he's going to pick up the pot without having to get it on the flop.
I guess it's like you say, also depends how much you believe in your post-flop play, and Cliff's going to be like...
Sure, and then the other factor, too, is experience. So the more experienced of a player you are, the more times you've been here, you take a 20 big blind stack, and sometimes you say, okay, listen, that's plenty, I can outmaneuver these guys. Like, for example, I play in a main event. When I play in a 25K against the top cookies, that's not the approach you take. You get it in on that flop, you push that 20 big blind stack, because they're not going to make silly mistakes, and you're not going to be able to push them around.
Cliff now has closer to a 30 big blind stack. He and Michael Beller are pretty much tied on the leaderboard right now. Michael gently sits middle of the pack, and then you've got the 2 big stacks. Alexei Opalikin with 74 bigs, Christian Harder, the chip leader, with 88 bigs. And still 45 minutes of this level to play before we go to the 50-100 line level.